whatever struggles that you've had, are having, know that there's a fair chance you'll have in the future. You're not alone in it. And the reality is that everyone's going through something. It's just, in general, most people don't share it with the rest of the world. I'm Ian Hawkins, and this is Sport is Life. The purpose of sport, as I see it, is to see your vision become a reality. Find your voice, create strong connections, and learn to trust your body. A couple of weeks ago on my weekly pod around current events, I was talking about the coaches from the NRL Premiership decider, some other people involved in the sport. And just to follow up, because this week, the Premiership winning coach, again, fourth year in a row, Ivan Cleary, opened up about some of his mental health challenges and some of the solutions that he's found. And what I love is this new book that he's putting out. On the cover, it says, "How Connection and Courage Teaches Us to Win." Now, we want to win at life. You're a competitive person. You want to win in lots of different areas. And it's interesting that he talks about connection and courage. I worked with Ben Ikin from Queensland Rugby League fame. Also played for the Bears in Sydney and the Broncos in Brisbane. And he talked about the sort of key things for a football club. And one of those two things was connection, how connected they are. Now, my question to you is, how connected are you feeling in your life? Like truly connected? Because I know that there are times where you can feel disconnected, even in your own home. And this is what Ivan opens up about. I guess it's a book tour, but he's getting interviewed. And you may have seen one of his interviews, and he was talking about trying to normalize everyone going through mental health challenges and how important it was for him to connect and open up. Because what he thought was that what the right thing to do was to not put the burden of his troubles on other people. And what he found was he was sunk deeper and deeper into a hole, to the point where there were some days where he didn't want to get out of bed. Now, this is someone who's been hugely successful, not just in the last 5 years, but over his playing days. In his early coaching days, he had success, made a grand final, might even be his first year. Wonderful family, 4 awesome kids, one of them who's a pretty handy footballer, and another one coming through as well, but just good family man, and doing some pretty cool things as a coach, but also the impact that he's having connecting back to the community. So this is someone who knows what he's talking about when he says how important it is to be able to open up. And he said the weight off by actually talking about the different challenges he was having, starting with talking to his wife, and his wife had been annoyed that he was keeping it to himself. Now, I know that can be quite challenging, and I know sometimes that talking to your partner about these things can be quite challenging because of the reaction that they may have. They might be relying on you for strength and all different things, and sometimes that we worry about the impact that's going to have on them. And if their reaction is not exactly what we were hoping for, sometimes that can make us shut down even more. It's important, though, to one, if you are the partner and someone's opening up, to create a safe place and not judgment, just listening, but also to start that journey and be able to speak about it. And of course, if that's too challenging initially, like Ivan Cleary also talked about, is opening up to other people, finding trusted places where you can talk about what's going on, so you can then know that you're not alone in it. And that was a really important thing that he said. It was good to know that I wasn't alone going through this, because you're not alone. Whatever struggles that you've had, are having, know that there's a fair chance you'll have in the future. You're not alone in it. And the reality is that everyone's going through something. It's just, in general, most people don't share it with the rest of the world. I talk to people every day who are going through challenges and they're ready to open up about it. It's something that I do religiously, meet with my coach once a week to make sure I'm opening up about what I've got going through and externalizing some of those challenges and frustrations, because sometimes I just need to get them out of my head and say them. And then once I do it, it just somehow relieves a lot of what you're holding on to, and externalizing it allows it to make, hearing it out loud from yourself allows you to make sense of it to a certain degree as well. And it does take courage to do this. Like it says there in the title, and like that is on the cover of the book, connection and courage. Connecting with people beyond just surface level, and the courage to actually face the things that you need to face. No, I'm a big believer that these things that you try and run from will catch you. You can't run from different challenges. They'll find a way. I often work with people where they're at the point where their body's letting them down, or they're having some challenges, some pain, and that is your body telling you that there's something that you need to address. You might be overly worrying about something, stressing about something. There might be something going on about where you're giving into too much in one area, and maybe you're not giving enough in another area. And your body literally will tell you that. When you set a target on what it is that you want from life, and if you're on here, you want life to be better, you want to make improvements, then the subconscious part of your brain starts looking for solutions. And if you've decided you want to be healthier and happier, well, one of the solutions that it'll find for you is that you need to pay attention to your body, and might have to make some changes. So it'll send you messages, and your body might tighten up in certain areas. Maybe it's saying you need to change your diet. Maybe it's saying you need to exercise. Maybe you need more flexibility. Maybe it's because there's something sitting in your body that is an old trauma of some sort, whether that's physical from an injury, or what happens is that when something happens, and it can be as simple as I've had one recently that I got helped in processing, when it was I'd written something down on paper when I was in year 5 that it's probably inappropriate for that age group, shall we say. And my mum had found it, and while she hadn't made a big fuss about it, the fact that she had seen this bit of paper, I was mortified, and I still was carrying some embarrassment around that. And that's like, well, I won't go to exact years, but nearly 40 years later. And then that sits in the body and creates dis-ease in the body. So there's so many levels to this, and yet the simplicity of being able to externalize, like I've said many times in this pod, get a journal, externalize it that way. Eventually, though, you need to talk about the things that are going on in your head, because it just gives you so much sanity and so much confidence, and then you can set yourself up to win. You think about it from a sporting perspective, just how open we are with teammates and challenges, and giving feedback and receiving feedback, and having a coach telling us what to do. And yet the rest of your life, maybe you're not doing that. I certainly didn't do that for a long time, and it wasn't until I got my first coach in 2012 that I realized just what I'd been missing. I was like, where has this stuff been all my life? And I invariably get that from clients after they've been working with me for a short time, going, man, why did I take so long to do this? Why did I take so long to make these changes? So take a lesson from Ivan. Clearly he knows what he's talking about when it comes to coaching football teams. And in this day and age, the closeness of playing ability and the science and everything is so close. And what separates the best teams is their ability to connect and their ability to do things differently. And he's clearly doing that. So he clearly knows his stuff, and take heed from his message. Have the courage to speak up, connect with the people closest to you. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then find someone trusted that you can open up to, talk about the challenges, and it might just be a simple redirect. And most of the time it is. What if you looked at it like this? Often on a coaching session, when my coach is taking me through a session, I'll get to the end, and by the end of just talking about it, I'll go, oh, it's like this, isn't it? And they'll go, yeah, that's right. I didn't need too much more than just have a safe place to externalize. And that's going to make a huge difference for you as well. As always, if you are looking for a safe and trustworthy place to do that, reach out to me. As always, find someone somewhere. If it's not me, find someone else. I'd be, of course, more than honored to be able to have a conversation with you and to start pointing you in the right direction to what might be the best solution for you at this time. Have a great day. Speak to you on the next one. You've taken the time to listen to this whole episode. Now it's time to take action. Commit to one thing you've learned today and make it happen. And to avoid any obstructions, join the Sport is Life movement by clicking on the link in the show notes.